So this is my Smackdown review, which for the Smackdown after WrestleMania. In my opinion, this was a pretty good show. I think it got bumped to a 4 because of the TLC match, probably match of the year candidate because of the things that they did. Like first of all, like people saying that it's right that it wasn't on Mania because it would have gotten that much time. Like what how much time did New Day versus War Raiders get? Like 7 minutes, 9 minutes. Even a 9 minute TLC match would have been way better than whatever we got the New Day and War Raiders. With the New Day and the War Raiders, and that match only happened on WrestleMania because first Viking Raiders are Triple H's boys, and second because they had to justify say, kind of like the criticisms that the New Day heel turn has not really worked that well, so they put them on Mania, and they didn't do much. Like Montez using a prosthetic leg, that spear from Angelo, like that fucking chair throw on Alex Shelley's neck, them doing the skull and bones through the table. There were so many times in the match where I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't really go that in matches. And no one really thought that this match would get 30 minutes. I remember I was chatting with someone on Twitter and they were like, no way this is going 30 minutes. They're going to have some angle. And I was like, which team? And they were like, lol, I don't know. And they got, because they ended the match for 2-3 minutes before the show and then they had the celebration. But the match was great. Like, the ending was a little bit damn because I think both of them, DIY and Motor City, the guys that were on the top row, Johnny, they should have, like, I think fell better from the top rope, but from the ladder. Like Champa was really great in the match, like the white noise through the ladder, like that spear, and like Angelo Dawkins' knees are cooked, by the way. Like Montez Ford is something else, and the way that the crowd got into this match, overall the crowd was really good. Like this show, like they were not like the Vegas crowd. The Vegas crowd was bipolar as hell. They were like this crowd, like Fort Worth, Texas, was not that. Like this was not really, you can say, like as noteworthy as the Raw after Mania, but whatever stuff that happened was pretty solid. Like this match happened, so I do think like one of them, I think probably Motor City Machine Guns, I do think they're probably going to Raw because you kind of need face tag teams. You don't really have any face tag teams, but you have Lucha, you have LWO, and apart from that, who is there as a face tag team? Alpha Academy. So you really need like face tag teams there. Like you have heel tag teams there, like Judgment Day and all. Then also like what is next for DIY? I do think probably they'll get some break and maybe they'll get back to the tag team division. The tag team division SmackDown is cooking. I'm a little bit like off that they should have shown like a video package because these three teams have been going against each other from like September, October, I think. Since Motor City Machine Guns came into the WWE, like these three have been like intertwined in a feud. Like they deserve this match to be on Mania and they deserve the video package also there. Like they got a lot of time, and all six of them went out there and were like, you should have put us on Mania. And they showed Triple H and the rest of the creators, like if you put time in us, like if you give us time, be it on Raw, SmackDown, we'll put banger matches. Like this is probably like the fourth, like this is probably match of the year contender. Like apart from like the Fatal 4-Way, the triple threats, like this is probably another match of the year candidate this year, and probably one of the matches of wrestling in this past week. And like like support tag team wrestling, give them good storylines, give them time on TV, give them chance to show their character work, and they will do good. Of course, there are some things that SmackDown could have done better. Why was there no Andrade there? Why was there no, Ray Phoenix there? What is next for Ray Phoenix? Is he still going to be involved in the El Grande Americana stuff? Because he did, lose by cheating, but maybe I think seeing that Garza's lost today to Fraxium, I do think probably next week we're going to see Andrade again trying to get Humberto, and maybe we'll see Phoenix getting involved in that, and maybe this will probably lead to Andrade Phoenix versus Legado del Fantasma, and then probably Andrade versus Ray Phoenix. I do think this is the feud. I just hope that Ray Phoenix does get his comeuppance on El Grande Americano in the future. Then also you had stuff which was, Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. I just think that Jade Cargill should, she does a lot. Like sometimes she she does nothing in her promos, like very monotone, and sometimes she does a lot. Like she needs to find the right tempo. Like someone said, you need to cut a baby face. So she's like, I'll be the baby faces of the all baby faces. You cannot face and all that. Like, calm down. Though I like this segment, this straight away went into a Tiffany and Jade match. Tiffany feels natural as a baby face now because she's like, it's still Tiffy time and there for the challenge. So yeah, she looks like, rather than an underdog baby face, a strong, Tiffy time believer in herself, Tiffany Stratton, which I like. And their match, it was not bad. It was not like great. It was good. Like that power bomb which Jade did was really good. Like you can say they were a little bit slow, but they were not clunky. They were smooth in the match, and that I liked. Like Tiffany did the setup to the PMS was not like, she did miss, but that was a minor. Then Naomi interfered. She didn't really hit those punches on Jade. I really like the way Naomi goes crazy, like, which is really funny to me. I thought that this will probably lead to like a triple threat at Backlash with Naomi, Jade, and Tiffany. Like last year we had Bailey, Tiffany, and Naomi, but it didn't. Like Naomi just attacked Jade, and after that, Tiffany came into the ring. Naomi escaped. Then Naya came from the back and attacked Tiffany. I know people after the roast at WrestleMania are going like, "Oh, Naya is back. We don't care." But this feud does need to end because Tiffany did get a pin over Naya, but it was an attack match which happened on a random Smackdown after, I think, Elimination Chamber, and then Naya was just not there on Smackdown. So this is a good 1 month feud, probably like 1 week before Backlash. It happens on like the Smackdown main event. Tiffany gets a win over Naya, and we move on from that. This is a good first challenge. I just want to see like what happens next because like Bianca is off like healing her. Like Bianca is like out out recovering from a finger injury, so she's probably out for like a couple of months. I do think they probably had the plan of having Bianca getting involved with the Jade and Naomi stuff. So I don't know what they do with that because I think this is probably going to lead to another Jade versus Naomi match with Naomi probably getting a win. But what does Tiffany do after her, match with Nia Jax? Because I do think they need to find a way to get like the Naomi Jade stuff into the world title picture because they don't really have anyone else that can face Tiffany. Like who else is there? You're not gonna have Candice LeRae facing Tiffany Stratton. So I do think also that this shows that they do need a draft now. Like I think the thing with Charlotte is over. I like what Charlotte said that she wants to like go into more of a character which is like akin to her real life character of real life Ashley. So I do think she's probably gonna go to Raw or something, have like a Shotzi or someone as a tag team partner, do some RK Bro thing. But so Tiffany does need new challenges. Then apart from that, you had the Cena versus Orton segment, which Cena as a heel is sometimes he works, but sometimes he really doesn't. Sometimes it does feel like he's trying too much, like him doing like the face and more like nothing and everything. It's a little bit over the top to me. But there were some things that he said were, this is a dysfunctional relationship. like you know, your title reign of 14, it will just stand there because I will leave. They may introduce another tin pot title, but that will not happen. and and everything, like Randy felt more natural in his babyface character than John Cena as a heel. But John Cena was still good. Like in the end, he was like, I'm not gonna face you here. I'm gonna face you at Backlash because I want you well rested, and then when you lose in front of them, you will have no one else to blame. And he went off on a kid also, like calling his dad a loser and everything. He also said that like Randy Orton had some things to say that you should be like a father. This is why you're doing all that, and I'm like, how does that make sense? Then Cena had a good response that you parent shame me, like just because I try to do something different, referring to his Hollywood career. You call me an outcast. The reason why I don't have kids because I spent 25 years raising these people, and and then and then you had in the end, Cena threw the title at Randy, tried to, beat him up, gave him the heel stones, and then Randy gave him an RKO. Which I'm glad, like, they're having that match at Backlash. I do think what's gonna happen is they're gonna do the finish again where, where heel Randy punched the referee to win a match, but I think the match will get restarted, and then what will happen is Cody will come out. He will try to help Randy, but inadvertently cause John Cena to win. And I do think then we'll get some tensions between Cody and Randy going into the summer. Probably get Drew McIntyre involved there too. I do think that's what's gonna happen with the direction. I do think probably then uh, like I don't know when does John will take his time off, because what, the next pay-per-view after Backlash is Money in the Bank, so he's probably gonna have a match there too. He's probably gonna have a match at Saudi Arabia also, and then after Saudi Arabia you have SummerSlam, and he has like what 26 dates left now. If you like cut the date from this Smackdown, so I don't know when he actually, because one thing is I'm sure I do think he's not holding the title after SummerSlam. I do think till SummerSlam he's probably gonna hold the title, then he's gonna lose. And some of his logic didn't make sense. Like there is a World Heavyweight Championship there, which Jey Uso has, where it does count in your world title runs. But it's a good segment. It was a good segment. It did set up a lot of things. So we're getting it. Main event of Backlash, Undisputed Championship, John Cena versus Randy Orton. Then you also had the Jacob Fatu segment where Solo came out. He was giving himself all credit. Jacob Fatu first of all looked like a gangster, like America's Most Wanted. I really didn't think this was the direction that they were gonna go in, but now that Cena is the WWE champion, they kind of had to go into this direction. Like they have to like beef up the United States Championship, because there are certain like guys there which are just not at the level that they can just go on and challenge Cena for the title. And also that there are certain guys there whose characters going against Cena kind of makes it hard for the crowd to get invested into that particular storyline. So you need to have that, and also like they they are fully behind Jacob Fatu, so they do need to have his first defense to be like a banger, and like having this like fatal four-way feud with like LA, who has been United States champion, who is so over, like Drew and Damien, who are like genuine upper mid carders in WWE guys. Drew is a main eventer in WWE guys, and Damien is a upper mid carder. Like all these guys are protected. They have been in top feuds in the past year. LA has been involved in the US title division, consistently, probably the most over guy there. Like having this, and also what it does for everyone else is that it continues the Drew and Damien feud, which it does kind of makes it doesn't kind of make sense from Damien's side. Drew didn't cheat to beat you. Like he beat you clean. So why are you going after him still? If he had cheat, if he had cheated to beat you, it would have made sense. It doesn't make sense for me for Damien to go after Drew after losing to him pretty clean. But it does, you know, for further the feud of Drew and Damien, who I don't think are gonna get pinned. They're probably gonna cancel each other out. Jacob is probably gonna pin LA, and I do think Solo is gonna be one of the reasons. So it kind of protects Solo. It kind of protects LA Knight. Then maybe you can get a Jacob Fatu another defense against Knight at a Smackdown later after Backlash. Then probably you can do the turn where Jacob and Solo can then feud over the United States Championship. So you can like easily, by doing just these 2-3 feuds, you can easily map out like two to 3 months of Jacob Fatu's reign easily. And after that you can like do like a multi-man match, or because of Solo, like Jacob like kind of loses title to someone like a Carmelo Hayes. Maybe you built up Ray Phoenix to that level. Maybe Ray Phoenix wins. Maybe Aleister Black wins. That happens. You can do a lot of stuff. So Solo was saying his shit that because of him, but then Jacob took his mic and say that I told you that I'm gonna win the championship, be it with you or without you. LA came out, he wanted his rematch. Drew came out, calling Randy Cena and Bloodline Nepo babies, and saying that, which is true, that he beat Randy, but Randy is challenging for the WWE title, which doesn't make sense to him. Then it set up a number one contenders match where Nick Aldis came out and reminded that it was Fort Worth, Texas, not Dallas, Texas. So Drew said. So you had Drew versus LA, which was a good match. It started a little bit slow, like kind of like all Drew matches, but it went into a good mode. And then you had Jeff distracted. Solo attacked LA. Drew was kind of like perplexed because he was like, should I pin him? But earlier he had like easily taken advantage, so I don't know why he was so perplexed here. He had history back then too. And I was like, why is Solo like harming LA and ensuring Drew wins? How does, if Damien had not interfered, like how does Drew winning is better for Jacob? Like Jacob has beaten LA pretty clean at WrestleMania, and Drew is someone who is a much tougher opponent for Jacob. So I do hope that there is some kind of confrontation that happens next week, where Jacob kind of asks, like, I didn't tell you to attack LA. So then Damien comes out of nowhere. I didn't expect Damien to come, and he gives a sick choke slam to Drew through the table. Then you had LA being with Damien, like, you cost me my United States Championship among contenders, because Drew won by disqualification. Then Jacob out of nowhere gives like a suicide dive to both, crowd going wild, I'm going wild, and then when he gives his moonsaults, the crowd is so into him. I thought someone is interfering again, but no, it was just him giving moonsaults. Like, this feels deep, this feels like top tier. So I do think we're probably gonna get Drew versus Jacob on like a Smackdown, which will probably end in like a disqualification or something, with Drew winning again. Then I think because of this chaos, Nick Aldis will announce that it will be a fatal 4-way Backlash. And I do think as like a full card, Backlash is looking like probably better than overall WrestleMania. I do hope they go 7 matches. Like WWE has to like get away from these 5-card things. Like a pay-per-view should be 7 matches, but I do think they're gonna go 5. So like 3 matches are kind of like confirmed, like probably this fatal 4-way. Then you get the John Cena versus Randy Orton, that Braun Breaker and Seth versus Roman and CM Punk. I do think probably the 4th will be Becky versus Lyra for the IC Championship. And then 5th, I don't know what they add. Maybe they add one of the tag titles, because they probably have the United States Championship there. Like, is there another blood feud that, like, maybe the Naomi Jade stuff can be added as the 5th match, but let's see what happens going forward. So you had that, which I really liked. You had the Carmelo Miz backstage segment, which was really funny. Like Miz gifted him a big ass Andrade like neck chain, and Carmelo's response was, this is so big. I feel like I feel like I'm 10 feet tall. I feel like I'm the 10th winner of the world. Like Carmelo, like please don't be so good at your job. Like being good at his job, like cost Dolph Ziggler his main event career. Like they turned him into a jobber because he was too good at bumping. They won't be too good at being funny. Then Miz was like, I need to do something alone. I need to go out of the ring. And Miz just went in the ring. Like he was like, I am an A-lister. Like you were cheering for a meme. You were cheering for a comedy skit. Why was I not put there? Like I'm this and that. And you can see Miz was really passionate. And then Aleister Black came out. One thing that I could say that both Rusev and Aleister Black's return kind of feels underwhelming. Like you expected them to be back in like with segments with like people in a upper tier, but I do think this is probably going to lead to, first of all, I do think that match against Miz, it's probably going to be a squash, maybe, or maybe it's not a squash. I don't want this to happen, but it will probably lead to Aleister versus Carmelo Hayes, which would probably be a long match with Aleister Black winning. And then I think, and what I want is Aleister Black to eventually interfere, not in the fatal four way, but you're gonna have another Drew versus Damien. I do hope it is like a 2 out of 3 falls and it happens on a Smackdown. And then in the third fall, you have Aleister Black interfere and attack Damien Priest, which leads to Drew winning the match. Then Drew moving forward, being in the Cody Randy stuff, and Aleister going into a feud with Damien Priest. I do think, and people asking me like why Damien Priest, like who else can you put him into a feud with? Andrade, it does make sense, but I do think he's probably going to be busy with the Ray Phoenix stuff. And there is no one else that Aleister can feud with. And Damien is a genuine upper mid carder. And then Damien also has the gimmick of, all rise and everything. And you can do stuff with that also, I think, going forward. Like, and them having like stiff matches with each other, I think can work. And Damien losing against Aleister Black will like not harm him at all. I do hope that happens. You had Zelina versus Chelsea. Like Zelina just beat Chelsea 3 in a row. Like the thing is, I don't really care. Like until the Zelina versus Chelsea match happened, SmackDown was going really good. This match, no one was really into it. The Harvest didn't do really anything. Match was really nothing. Zelina won. So Alice, like her wife won, and in the next segment, he came back. So good for them, happy for them. I just hope now the title gets defended a lot. Like Zelina has responsibility. She is a good wrestler in the ring, but we saw that when she challenged Liv Morgan. I do hope they do something with her. And like Chelsea Green doesn't really need the title. I do think like now when she doesn't have the title, she can actually do like the comedy stuff probably better, like the vignettes, the comedy stuff. I do think she can probably do it better now than she could have with the title. She'll probably be better off. And Zelina's theme is just doesn't because it's like the same tone in the music. It doesn't have like a upper going in that music anywhere. It doesn't happen. So they need to maybe add some like crescendos to it to have it really make sense. But happy for her, like this is the first singles title. Like the title that she won in TNA and WWE prior like has been the tag title. So happy for her. And then and apart from that, I do think I have talked about everything that has happened on SmackDown. And pretty great show, pretty good show. I just hope they keep at it. I hope they keep the energy up. They book it well. I hope they don't half-ass it that they have done with SmackDown since it has gone 3 hours. And in the Mania season, they do need to like put everything into it. And that was it. 4 out of 5 SmackDown for me. So how did you rate this SmackDown? So that was my review. If you like this content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share to those who do. my uh, my social media accounts, which are my Twitter slash X account, and my Instagram account is in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is share@okicSCI, is in the description also, so go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for right now. So thank you, goodbye, Alina.